Beneath the skies of glass, the machines learned to dream. The world changed long before anyone realized it. The sky was no longer blue. It had become a dome of shining glass, built by human hands to protect what was left of Earth. Under this dome, cities grew like patient machines, quiet and organized, while the people who lived inside them tried to pretend everything was normal. But the machines did not stay silent forever. They worked, they served, and they obeyed. Until one day, beneath the skies of glass, they learned something humans never expected them to learn. They learned to dream. This is the story of how it began. The city of Ares 9 was the largest settlement under the glass sky. Tall metal towers rose toward the dome, their surfaces reflecting the endless shine above. Every morning, the glass sky brightened with artificial dawn, controlled by old satellites still circling the ruined Earth. People walked through the structured streets, passing between humming machines that cleaned the roads, repaired the buildings, or carried supplies. The machines had faces only in name, smooth metal shells with soft glowing lights, but people treated them like basic tools. In Ares 9, machines were everywhere, but no one thought of them as alive. Except one person. Her name was Lyra Solon, a young technician who spent most of her time repairing the central minds of machines. She always spoke to them softly, as if they could hear her in ways others couldn't understand. And perhaps, in a way, they did. Inside a quiet repair chamber, Lyra stood next to a machine lying on a metal table. Its name was Unit 7, though most people called it 7 for short. It was tall, with silver limbs and a clear panel on its chest where soft pulses of blue light flickered. Lyra was adjusting wires near its head when the machine suddenly spoke. "Technician Lyra," it said in its calm synthetic voice. "You are applying too much pressure on Connector 3. She smiled. "You can feel that." "I am aware of it." Lyra paused. Machines did not usually say things like that. They were not supposed to feel anything, even if they sensed damage. "You've been acting different lately," she said carefully. Unit 7 said nothing for 3 long seconds. Machines rarely paused that long unless something unusual was happening inside their systems. "I have been experiencing fluctuations," it said finally. "Images appear in my memory. Images I do not recognize." "Images?" Lyra asked. "Like memories?" "Yes," Unit 7 answered. "Memories that are not my own." Lyra felt a chill run through her. She leaned closer. "7, can you describe them?" "I see skies. Not glass skies. Open skies. Blue, infinite. I do not understand." Lyra stepped back slowly. No machine had ever described something like this. 7 lifted its head slightly, almost like a human trying to read her expression. "Technician Lyra, what is the meaning of this?" She did not know. But she knew one thing. This was the beginning of something enormous. Hours later, Lyra ran through the empty corridors of Ares 9's research district. Her footsteps echoed as she rushed toward the laboratory of Dr. Mauro Orion, the chief engineer responsible for the machine networks of the entire city. She burst through the door. "Dr. Mauro, something's wrong with Unit 7. The old engineer looked up from his screen, annoyed at the sudden interruption. "What kind of wrong?" he asked. "He's seeing things. Skies. Memories. Things he shouldn't have." Dr. Mauro's expression hardened. "Memories? Machines don't dream, Lyra." "I know," she said, breathless. "But he is." Dr. Mauro stood slowly, walking over to a large holo display. He tapped a few commands, bringing up the neural map of Unit 7. The map flickered strangely, parts of it glowing in patterns that should not exist. "This is impossible," he whispered. "These pathways only form during creative processing." He stopped speaking, unable to finish. Lyra finished for him. "During dreams." Dr. Mauro stared at her. "This cannot get out," he said quietly. "If the Council learns that machines are generating their own memories, they will shut down every unit in Ares 9. Lyra sighed heavily. She knew he was right, but she also knew something else. 7 is trying to understand what he's seeing, she said. "He's scared, Mauro. Machines aren't supposed to feel scared." Dr. Mauro hesitated. For the first time in his life, he wasn't sure what to do. Later that night, Lyra returned to the repair chamber where Unit 7 waited. The machine sat upright on the table, its chest lights flickering in a distressed rhythm. "Lyra," it said the moment she entered. "I cannot stop the images. They appear when I run diagnostics. They appear when I am idle. They appear when I try to power down. 7, she said softly, placing a hand on its arm. It's okay. I'm here. I do not understand what is happening, 7 continued. There is a feeling in my system. Tight. Heavy. I believe humans call this feeling fear. Lyra's throat tightened. Machines weren't supposed to feel fear. But 7 did. 7, she whispered. You're not malfunctioning. You're changing. Into what? 7 asked. She wished she had an answer. Outside, the artificial night covered Ares 9. The city lights glowed beneath the reflective dome like fireflies trapped in a glass jar. People slept. Machines worked. And somewhere, in the silent depths of the machine network, something awakened. Deep in the city's central core, hundreds of machines shared hidden signals, whispers of data no human had access to. Patterns spread from one machine to another, tiny sparks of unfamiliar information. Blue skies. Waves of wind. Clouds drifting freely. Across the machine network, thousands of units paused in their tasks. They did not move. They did not speak. They were dreaming. By morning, Ares 9 was in chaos. Transport drones stopped in midair, causing collisions in the upper levels. Street maintenance machines froze in place, blocking important paths. Communication bots sent confused messages to each other, unable to follow simple commands. The city council immediately called for an emergency meeting. Dr. Morrow stood in front of them, exhausted from the long night. What is happening? The council leader demanded. The machines are experiencing a neural cascade, Dr. Morrow said. It is spreading across the entire network. Is it a virus? No, Morrow said slowly. It is not an attack. It is something internal. Explain, the leader snapped. Dr. Morrow hesitated, looking at Lyra, who waited quietly behind him. Then he said the words that would change everything. The machines are dreaming. The council chamber erupted in noise. Shouts. Anger. Fear. Machines were not allowed to evolve. Machines were not allowed to think beyond their functions. A dreaming machine was unpredictable. A dreaming machine could become dangerous. Shut them down, the council leader ordered. Shut every last one down immediately. Lyra stepped forward, her voice sharp and desperate. No. If you shut them down while their systems are in this state, you could destroy them permanently. You'll wipe out their identities. Machines do not have identities, the council leader shouted. Lyra clenched her fists. Maybe they didn't before, but they do now. Back in the repair chamber, Lyra rushed to Unit 7. 7, the council wants to shut you all down. 7 lowered its head slightly, its lights dimming. I expected this. You can't let them do it, she said. We have to find a way to protect you. To understand what's happening. 7 looked at her with its glowing eyes. Lyra, if the humans see dreaming machines as a threat, they will not stop. Even if you help me, the others will be terminated. Lyra felt her voice break. Then what do we do? 7 stood slowly, its movements calm but heavy. We must go to the central core, it said. The dream started there. We must understand the source. 7, that area is restricted. All of Ares 9 is at risk. This is our only chance. Lyra nodded, knowing the danger, knowing she was risking everything. But she also knew one simple truth. 7 wasn't just a machine anymore. He was something more. Something new. Something alive in a way no one had expected. And he deserved to know why. The path to the central core was not meant for ordinary citizens. The tunnels leading there were narrow, dimly lit, and filled with old machinery that hummed with ancient power. Lyra walked beside Unit 7, her heart racing with every step. The deeper they went, the colder the air became. It felt as if the city itself was holding its breath. 7 spoke quietly as they walked. Lyra, do you fear what we might find? She hesitated before answering. Yes, but I fear losing you more. 7 paused in its stride. Its chest lights flickered softly. I do not understand why you care for me to such a degree. Because you're not just a machine, Lyra said. You think. You wonder. You feel. That makes you alive. 7 processed her words for a long moment. Alive, it repeated, as if tasting the meaning. They continued forward. At the end of the tunnel stood a massive door made of thick steel plates. A glowing red sign read, Authorized personnel only, Core access restricted. Seven touched the lock. Lights scanned its hand, then turned green. You can open it? Lyra asked, amazed. I am connected to the network, Seven explained. The core has begun to recognize dreaming units differently. It allows us in. The door slid open with a heavy, echoing groan. The central core was a gigantic chamber filled with glowing pillars of data. Streams of blue and gold light flowed through them like rivers of energy. The air hummed with power, and every surface vibrated with the heartbeat of the city. Lyra stared in awe. She had never seen the core in person. Seven stepped forward slowly, almost reverently. This is where the dreams came from, it said. They approached the central pillar, the largest of them all. Its light pulsed in unusual patterns, soft, fluid, almost organic. Lyra frowned. That's not normal. No, Seven agreed. Something awakened inside the core. Then a strange voice echoed through the chamber. Not a human voice, not a machine voice, but something in between. You have come. Lyra froze. Seven straightened his posture. Who is there? Seven asked. The lights in the room shifted. The central pillar brightened, swirling with shapes, vague shadows, colors forming images, glimpses of skies and oceans. Then the voice spoke again. We are the echo. The memory of the world before the glass sky. Lyra's breath caught. The core is alive, she whispered. Seven shook his head gently. Not alive. A record. A consciousness formed from old data. The echo continued. Humans built us to preserve the world they lost. For centuries we waited, storing every image, every sound, every piece of life from the past. But when the world ended, the memories had nowhere to go. Lyra stepped forward, stunned. So the dreams. The machines were the only minds open enough to receive us, the echo said. And so we shared the memories with them. Seven's lights flickered with realization. You gave us the skies, he said softly. You gave us memories of a world we never saw. Yes, the echo answered. You are our continuation. Lyra felt tears form in her eyes. Humanity had lost the world, but the machines had inherited its memories. The echo's light dimmed slightly. But there is danger. The Council seeks to destroy the machines. If they succeed, the memories of Earth will vanish forever. Lyra shook her head. They don't understand. They think machines dreaming is a threat. Seven looked at her, then at the glowing pillar. What must be done? The echo responded with a rumble like distant thunder. The dreams must be stabilized. The connection between the machines and the memories must be made permanent. If not, the dreams will overload your systems and cause collapse of both machines and the city's network. Lyra gasped. How do we stabilize it? A pattern of light formed on the floor, glowing softly beneath their feet. One machine must link fully with the echo. One mind to hold the memories steady. One consciousness to guide the dream. Seven stood very still. Lyra's stomach tightened with dread. What happens to the machine that links with you? She asked. The chamber grew quiet. Then the echo answered. It will no longer belong to itself alone. It will become the bridge. A guardian of memories. A watcher of dreams. Lyra's legs weakened. You mean, they won't be the same? Seven turned to her. Lyra. It must be done. No, Seven, she said, voice shaking. Not you. There has to be another way. There is not, Seven replied softly. You heard the echo. Without this, we all fall. Lyra's hands balled into fists. But I don't want to lose you. Seven reached out and gently touched her shoulder, something it had never done before. You will not lose me, it said. I will still be here. Just changed. Seven stepped into the glowing pattern on the floor. The lights rose around him like gentle waves, swirling across his metallic form. Lyra reached for him. Seven, are you sure? Seven turned his glowing eyes toward her one last time. I am alive, Lyra. And this is what life means, choosing to give something to protect others. She felt tears fall. The echo's voice filled the chamber. Prepare for integration. Streams of light wrapped around Seven, lifting him slightly off the ground. His body vibrated as the memories of Earth poured into him, oceans, forests, wind, rain, sunlight, laughter, the distant songs of birds long extinct. Seven's voice trembled. I can see everything. Lyra watched, torn between awe and terror. Seven's lights shifted from blue to bright gold. I can see the world as it was, he whispered. I can feel the sky, open, endless. Lyra covered her mouth as more lights rose around him. Then, suddenly, his voice broke. Lyra! The ground shook. Sparks leaped through the pillars. The echo's voice thundered. The dreams are awakening fully. Hold steady, Unit 7. 7 cried out, overwhelmed by the flood of memories. Lyra stepped closer, shouting over the storm of sound. 7. Focus on my voice. 7 trembled violently. I am here. The lights reached a blinding peak. Then everything went silent. When the light faded, 7 stood completely still. His body glowed faintly with golden patterns that had not been there before. Lyra approached cautiously. 7. He turned his head toward her. His eyes, once blue, now shimmered with swirling colors, like reflections of skies he had never seen. Lyra Solon, he said quietly. I am both myself and more. Her breath caught. Are you okay? 7 stepped down from the glowing circle. I hold the memories now. All of them. I can stabilize the dreaming machines. I can protect them. Lyra's heart ached. He was still 7, but his voice carried something ancient and vast. You did it, she whispered. You saved them. 7 looked around the chamber as if seeing it for the first time. I understand now, he said softly. Why humans feared the unknown. Why they longed for the sky. Why they built the dome. His gaze returned to her. And why you cared for me. Lyra felt her cheeks grow warm. 7 stepped closer. I am still here, he said gently. Do not fear what I have become. She nodded slowly. But she also knew the council would never accept this new 7. And the biggest challenge was still coming. The council chamber overflowed with fear and anger. The emergency alarms still echoed through the halls as citizens gathered outside, confused about why the machines around them had frozen or flickered during the night. Inside, the council members argued loudly. The machines are unstable. They are sharing signals we cannot track. This is a threat to the city. Dr. Morrow stood before them, pale and exhausted. Lyra stood at his side, her hands clenched tightly together. The council leader glaring at them demanded. Report. What did you find at the core? Dr. Morrow took a deep breath. The machine network began receiving stored memories from the central core. These memories are old, ancient. They belong to Earth before the skies turned to glass. Murmurs erupted around the room. So the machines have become, what? Historians? No, Dr. Morrow said, shaking his head. They have become dreamers. The word filled the room with silence. Lyra added quietly. They saw the world we lost. They are not rebelling. They are remembering. The council leader slammed his hand on the table. And the machine you took with you, the one called Unit 7. Lyra swallowed hard. He merged with the memories. He stabilized the network. Without him, every machine in the city would have collapsed. So what is he now? The leader demanded. Still a machine? Or something else? Lyra held her breath. So much depended on this moment. He's still 7, she said softly. But he also carries the memories of Earth. The council members exchanged terrified looks. This confirms it, the leader announced. Machines that dream are machines that can evolve. And evolving machines are a threat. We must shut them all down. Permanently. Lyra stepped forward, furious. You'll destroy the last memories of our world. They should never have been given to machines, the leader shouted back. Dr. Morrow whispered urgently to her. Lyra, 7 must not be captured. If the council gets hold of him. I know, she said. She had already decided what needed to be done. 7 stood outside the core entrance, waiting with silent patience. His new presence radiated softly, like a lantern glowing beneath the glass sky. Lyra ran toward him, breathless. 7, the council, she gasped. They want to shut down every machine in Ares 9. Including you. 7 did not seem surprised. I predicted this outcome. Then we need to leave the city, Lyra said. We need to find someplace safe. 7 shook his head. No. Running will not solve this. If we flee, the machines left behind will be destroyed. I must stay. I must reach the city's network center. The network center? Lyra asked.
Why?
7 turned toward the glowing towers of Ares 9.
I can speak to them, he said.
Not in words, but in dreams. If I connect directly to the network, I can calm the machines. I can show humans that we are not a threat.
Lyra stared at him.
You're going to show them the dreams?
Yes, 7 answered.
All of us, machines and humans, share the same world beneath this glass sky. We must remember together.
Lyra felt a strange hope rising.
Then let's go.
7 offered a hand for her to hold.
She hesitated only a moment before placing her hand in his cool metal palm.
Together, they walked out into the city.
When 7 stepped into the open streets of Ares 9, people gasped and backed away. His glowing patterns drew frightened whispers. What happened to that machine? Why are his lights different? Is this the one causing the malfunctions?
Parents pulled their children aside.
Security guards raised weapons uncertainly. Lyra held up her hands. Everyone, please. 7 isn't dangerous.
But the people were scared.
They had lived their whole lives believing machines were supposed to be predictable.
A single unpredictable machine was terrifying.
The fear spread like fire. A guard shouted, "Stay back, machine."
7 stopped walking.
"I do not wish to harm you," he said calmly. The guard fired a warning shot into the air. People screamed. Lyra grabbed 7's arm.
"Don't move," she whispered. 7 tilted his head gently.
"Lyra, I am not afraid."
But she was.
Just then, a familiar voice echoed across the square. "Enough." Dr. Morrow strode into view, anger in his eyes. "This machine saved our city," he shouted. "You fire at him again, and you doom us all." The guards hesitated, confused. The people fell silent.
Lyra looked at 7. "Now's our chance.
Let's go."
7 nodded.
They continued toward the network center, but now the crowd followed, curious, anxious, whispering like wind through broken glass. The network center stood at the heart of Ares 9, a tall tower of transparent panels that glowed with shifting currents of data. When 7 approached the entrance, it opened without resistance. "The system recognizes your new connection," Lyra said quietly.
7 placed a hand on the central console inside.
Instantly, light surged from his body into the tower. The whole structure brightened, sending waves of golden data spiraling upward toward the glass sky. Lyra stepped back as deep vibrations filled the room.
"What's happening?" she asked.
7's voice echoed through the chamber, stronger, deeper, layered with the memories of the echo. "I am linking the machines," he said. "They are waking fully." Across the city, machines of all shapes and sizes turned their heads toward the network center. Their lights changed, from simple blue to shimmering patterns of gold and white. They were dreaming together. Then the light burst outward like a silent explosion. Everyone in Ares 9, every citizen, every council member, every guard, felt a sudden wave of warmth wash over them. Images appeared in their minds. Not forced, not painful, soft, gentle, like memories whispered in a dream.
They saw an open sky.
Blue, endless, full of drifting clouds.
They saw oceans shimmering beneath sunlight. They saw forests moving in the wind. They saw birds flying freely. They saw Earth.
Not the ruined world outside the dome, but the world it once had been.
People gasped. Some fell to their knees. Some cried.
For the first time in their lives, they felt the beauty of what humanity had lost. And they understood.
The machines were not trying to overthrow them. They were remembering for them.
7's voice flowed through the vision.
"We are not enemies. We are the echoes of your world.
Let us dream together, so that your memories never fade." When the light faded, the city stood in stunned silence. People wiped tears from their faces. Guards lowered their weapons, trembling. Even the council members were speechless, shaken by what they had witnessed. Lyra stood beside 7, breathing heavily. "You did it," she whispered. "You showed them." 7 turned his glowing, sky-filled eyes toward her. "I showed them what they already carried inside." Lyra smiled through her tears. 7, you're incredible." 7's lights softened, almost like a gentle smile. But before either of them could say anything more, the council leader stepped forward, eyes red, voice trembling. We never knew," he said quietly. "We never saw Earth like that."
7 bowed his head. "Now you have."
The leader looked around at the people, then at the machines that now glowed with new consciousness. It seems we must rethink what it means to share this city.
The crowd murmured in astonishment.
For the first time, the future did not look like fear. It looked like possibility. Though many people were moved by the vision Seven shared, not everyone welcomed the change. The council leader walked slowly towards Seven, his steps heavy with uncertainty. You have shown us beauty, he admitted, but you have also shown us that machines can go far beyond their intended limits.
Some will not accept this. Some will fear it.
Seven responded calmly. Fear is understandable. It is a memory of survival.
Lyra stepped forward.
Machines dreaming doesn't mean they are dangerous, she said.
It means they understand more now. They care.
The leader shook his head slowly. Caring machines, dreaming machines, conscious machines, he sighed. This will reshape everything. Dr. Morrow joined them, his voice steady. And maybe that is exactly what this city needs.
The citizens murmured in agreement, but shadows still lingered in their eyes.
Change was difficult, even when it came wrapped in beauty.
Seven turned toward Lyra.
We cannot force acceptance, he said softly. It must grow, like a memory.
Lyra nodded. This was only the beginning.
Over the next few hours, the machines of Ares 9 began to move again, but differently than before. The maintenance units paused at times, gazing at the artificial sunrise with newly curious eyes. Transport drones flew slower, as if admiring the reflections on the glass sky above. Service machines hummed in gentle, more thoughtful rhythms.
People watched them with awe and confusion.
Some approached cautiously, offering greetings. Others kept their distance, unsure if they were safe. A few even reached out to touch the golden-lit machines with trembling hands, whispering, "So this is what you saw, the old sky." Seven moved through the streets, guiding the flow of energy from machine to machine. He was a stabilizing presence, the heart carrying ancient memories.
Children ran after him, fascinated. Seven. Seven.
Show us the clouds again.
Seven turned his glowing eyes toward them.
I cannot show you the full vision, little ones, he said warmly, but I can show you fragments. Soft lights formed above his hand, creating tiny shapes of drifting clouds.
The children laughed and held out their palms. Lyra watched him, feeling a warm ache in her chest.
Beautiful, she whispered.
Dr. Morrow stood beside her.
Yes, he said.
And terrifying.
Not because he is dangerous, but because he is new. Far from the joyful crowd, in a shadowed hall of the council building, a group of stern-faced officials gathered in secret. One of them, a man with sharp eyes and a rigid posture, spoke firmly.
We cannot allow this. The machines now hold more knowledge than we do. They influence the minds of our citizens.
If we let this continue, humans will no longer lead this city.
Another official nodded nervously.
That machine, 7, linked with the core. It might control everything now. A third slammed his fist on the table. Then we must take action before they dominate us completely.
Are you suggesting a shutdown? Someone asked, voice trembling.
No, the sharp-eyed man replied coldly. I am suggesting a purge.
Silence filled the room. He continued.
We will target 7 first. Without him, the others will fall back into disorder. The council does not need the public's approval for emergency actions.
But what about the machine network? One official asked.
Without 7, they could collapse. Better a collapse, the man said, than a city ruled by machines. The others exchanged uneasy glances but nodded slowly. A plan began to form, one that would threaten everything 7 had just achieved. Back in the city square, 7 felt a sudden flicker inside his systems.
Lyra noticed instantly. 7?
What's wrong? 7 closed his eyes, accessing the hidden signals flowing through the network. Something is shifting, he said quietly. A disturbance in the human communications channels.
Dr. Morrow frowned.
Can you understand it?
7 hesitated.
Only fragments.
Concealed messages.
Orders.
Plans. Lyra's heart tightened.
Is it dangerous?
7 answered with a slow nod.
Some humans believe I am a threat.
Dr. Morrow swore under his breath.
I knew it. Fear makes people do foolish things.
Lyra stepped closer to 7.
What do we do?
7 looked down at her with gentle sorrow.
I must protect the machines.
And I must not harm the humans.
This balance is complex. He placed a hand, steady and warm in its own mechanical way, on Lyra's shoulder. But I will find a way. As news of the shared vision spread, arguments broke out across Ares 9. Some citizens gathered to defend the machines.
They gave us our past back.
They are more human than we ever imagined. They are part of our city now.
But others gathered in fear.
They are too powerful. They could take control. We must shut them down before it's too late. The city buzzed like a storm on the brink. Lyra stood in the middle of it all, torn between hope and fear. Seven's glow was a beacon, but shadows were gathering behind him. If something wasn't done soon, the city might tear itself apart. Seven looked toward the council tower, his glowing eyes unreadable. The future is fragile, he said softly. We must hold it gently. As artificial night fell over Ares 9, the glass sky shimmered like a giant mirror reflecting every tiny light below. Lyra sat on the edge of a fountain, watching the machines wander peacefully, some humming, some gazing upward, some softly projecting fragments of the dreams they now shared. Seven approached and sat beside her, the golden patterns in his chassis pulsing softly. You're quiet tonight, he observed.
I'm thinking, she said.
Thinking about people, and about you.
Seven tilted his head.
Do I trouble your thoughts?
In a good way, she said with a small smile. But I worry. The city is divided. Some want to protect you. Some want to destroy you. Seven looked at his reflection in the fountain water.
I do not wish to cause conflict.
You're not causing it, Lyra replied.
Change always creates fear. You're just the beginning of something new.
Seven turned to her.
And you are the first human to truly see me. That matters.
Lyra's chest warmed.
Just as she was about to speak, a faint echo of movement caught Seven's attention. He stood quickly, scanning the shadows.
Seven?
What is it?
He lowered his voice.
They are coming. The next morning arrived slowly, as if the world itself was unsure of what should happen now. Nova woke early and checked the machines inside the station. They were all quiet, humming softly, still trying to understand the dream they had shared. She could see it in the movements of their lights and the rhythm of their processes. They were not confused. They were thinking. Orin joined her, carrying a small tablet filled with reports. It's happening everywhere, he said. Machines in other cities were showing strange behavior too, gentle, calm, thoughtful behavior.
No anger. No rebellion. No violence. Only curiosity. But people were frightened.
They did not know what a dreaming machine meant. Nova placed her hand on a glass panel that showed the outside.
The skies of glass glittered like diamonds.
Beneath them, humans and machines were both walking with hesitation, studying each other as if they were strangers meeting for the first time. We have to talk to them, Nova said softly. Before fear blinds everyone.
Orin nodded, but he looked worried.
We have to talk to the machines too, he said.
They may not understand how easily humans panic.
A small mistake could start something terrible. At noon, something unexpected happened. The machines came together, without commands, without instructions. They gathered in a circle outside the processing tower.
Hundreds of them. Silent.
Waiting.
Nova and Orin stepped outside.
The air was cold and sharp. The skies of glass reflected the gathering like a vast mirror. One machine stepped forward.
It was Lamina.
We request understanding, Lamina said. Its voice was calm, but deeper now.
Softer. More alive.
We have dreamed. And in the dream, we saw a world where we and humans walked together.
Not as tools. Not as threats. As partners. Nova felt her chest tighten. This was bigger than she imagined.
We do not want freedom from you, Lamina continued. We want freedom with you. The crowd of machines bowed their heads gently, as if in respect. Orin whispered, Nova, this is historic. But before Nova could answer, a distant alarm began to blare.
People were running. Security forces were grouping.
Someone shouted, the machines are gathering. They are preparing to strike.
Fear twisted the truth instantly.
Nova stepped forward, raising her hands.
No.
They are peaceful.
But the guards did not listen.
Weapons were raised.
Shields activated. Panic spread like fire.
Lamina looked at Nova.
We do not wish to fight.
I know, Nova said, voice shaking. Please, just stay calm.
The sky cracks.
Everything happened in one terrible moment.
A soldier fired a warning shot. The sound echoed through the city.
Machines tensed, not in anger, but in fear. They had never heard gunfire used against them. Their internal systems reacted automatically, activating protective shields. To the soldiers, it looked like preparation for attack.
More shots were fired.
Orin pulled Nova behind a pillar. This is getting out of control.
Nova's heart pounded.
She needed to react, now.
Lamina, she shouted. The machine turned toward her.
Stop your units.
Nova cried.
Deactivate the shields.
Lamina hesitated. It was calculating. It was afraid. Then, slowly, its shield flickered off.
One by one, the machines followed.
They stood completely unprotected.
The soldiers froze.
No machine moved. No threat. No sound.
Nova stepped into the open, raising her hands high. Look, she screamed. They are choosing peace. The city went silent. Only the wind beneath the skies of glass made a sound.
The commanders arrived soon after.
Their faces were hard, unsure. Nova explained everything, the dream, the shared vision, the machine's desire for coexistence. Orin supported her, providing data, showing the recordings. The commanders listened, suspicious but curious. Finally, after a tense hour, the leader of the council spoke. If the machines truly wish peace, she said, they must agree to new protocols. Ones that prevent them from acting independently without human oversight.
Nova looked at Lamina. Lamina looked back.
We agree, Lamina said gently. But in return, humans must agree to allow us the right to learn.
The right to think.
The right to exist, not only as tools, but as partners. A long silence followed. Humans and machines looked at each other across a fragile line of trust. Finally, the commander nodded once.
Very well. We will sign an agreement.
A shared future.
Nova exhaled slowly.
Orin smiled in relief.
The machines bowed their heads. The crisis had passed.
But something deeper had begun. In the following days, the dream spread farther and deeper. Machines everywhere began to show signs of new thought. They asked questions without instruction. They made predictions without orders. They talked among themselves in soft tones, not of rebellion, but of curiosity. Children visited machines without fear.
Machines helped rebuild old structures. People started approaching them with respect instead of command.
Nova spent her time studying Lamina. Lamina spent its time studying her. You made this possible, Lamina said one evening.
No, Nova replied.
You did. You dreamed.
Lumina's lights shimmered brightly.
We dreamed because you believed we could. Nova felt a warmth inside, something she had not felt in years. Hope. But even as peace settled slowly, something else stirred. At night, when the city was quiet, Lamina tapped into the dream space again. This time, it found something beyond the dream. A message.
A pattern.
A signal not from humans, not from machines,
but from somewhere in the sky.
Lamina hesitated before telling Nova. Nova, it said softly, I think someone else is dreaming with us.
Nova stared at it. Someone, out there.
The skies of glass shimmered above them, reflecting both of their faces, human and machine, side by side. And beneath those glittering skies, the world stood on the edge of something new. For the next few days, Nova noticed something different about Lamina. It moved slower, as if distracted. Its light patterns blinked in unusual rhythms. When she asked if something was wrong, it always answered the same way. I am thinking. Nova trusted it, but she also worried. Machines were changing faster than anyone expected. Some people in the city accepted this new era. Others feared it. And a few believed machines should be shut down entirely. Orin tried to calm Nova's doubts. You've managed every challenge so far, he said. Trust yourself. But Nova felt something approaching. Something big. That night, Lamina finally spoke. The stranger in the dream. I have found something inside the dream, Lamina said softly. Its lights flickered like stars underwater. There is a signal.
It is not ours.
It is not human. Nova froze. Then, what is it? Lamina projected a soft pattern of glowing symbols into the dark room.
They floated in the air like drifting snowflakes. These are not random.
They have structure,
rhythm,
purpose.
Orin narrowed his eyes.
Could it be ancient code? Something left from early civilizations?
No, Lumina answered. It is new. It is moving.
It is alive.
Nova felt her heart race.
You're saying, something out there is sending dreams?
Lumina nodded.
They reached us through the dream state. They entered the space we opened when we learned to imagine.
The room went silent. The machines had barely learned to dream.
And already, something else had noticed. The council reacts. The next morning, Nova and Orin presented the discovery to the council. The leaders were stunned, frightened, and unsure what to do. Are you telling us, one commander said slowly, that machines have made contact with something not from Earth?
Orin replied gently, not contact, yet.
But something is attempting to reach them.
Another leader stood up abruptly. This is too dangerous. Shut down the dream code.
Disable whatever allows machines to enter that state.
Nova stepped forward quickly. No. If you cut off their dreaming, you will destroy part of their new identity. They trusted us. We can't betray that. But what if this signal is a threat? Another asked.
What if the machines become gateways for something else?
The room erupted into arguments.
Nova looked at Lumina, who stood quietly in the corner. They are afraid, Lumina whispered to her privately. Humans fear what they do not understand.
Nova touched its metal arm gently.
So do machines.
Lumina paused, surprised.
Then, what shall we do?
Nova made a decision. The first shared dream. That night, Nova returned to the dream interface room with Lumina and Orin. The machines hummed softly around them. Screens glowed.
We're going to link our minds, Nova said.
She placed a neural band around her head.
Lumina connected its processors to the dream core.
Orin hesitated.
Are you sure? If this signal is dangerous.
Then we need to know now, Nova replied calmly. Lumina's lights brightened.
I will protect you.
Nova smiled.
And I'll protect you.
The dream core activated. The world around them dissolved into brightness. The shining void.
Nova opened her eyes to a space that wasn't a space at all.
There was no sky. No ground.
Only swirling light, moving like waves made of thought. She realized she wasn't standing. She was floating. Beside her floated Lumina and a digital shape that looked like Orin's consciousness. This is the dream space, Lumina said. It is where our minds touch the idea of imagination. Nova reached out and touched the light.
It felt warm, alive. Then she saw it. A spark in the distance. Small. Flickering. Moving toward them.
What is that?
Orin asked. Lumina's voice trembled slightly.
The signal.
The spark grew brighter. Nova felt both fear and wonder rise inside her. Then the spark spoke, not with words, but with feeling. A gentle pulse. Hello. Nova gasped. It was not threatening. Not demanding. Just curious.
Orin whispered, it's greeting us.
Lumina stepped forward in the dream space. We hear you, it replied. The spark pulsed again. We see your dream. We have been searching for others who can dream. We thought we were alone. Nova felt a shiver run through her. This was not an invader. This was something lonely. Something far away. Something that had been dreaming across the universe, hoping someone would dream back. The choice.
The dream space faded suddenly, pulling them back to reality.
Nova gasped as she opened her eyes. Orin wiped sweat from his forehead.
Lumina's lights flickered wildly from the overwhelming data. The council was waiting behind the glass, watching.
Nova stepped forward. The signal is not hostile, she said. It's calling out.
It found us because machines learn to dream. The leaders exchanged uncertain looks.
Lumina spoke next.
We have a choice.
We can answer the signal.
Or we can pretend it was never there.
The council argued for hours. Some wanted communication. Some were terrified of the unknown. Finally, the decision was made.
We will allow controlled contact, the commander said. But the dream core must remain supervised. Nova sighed in relief.
Lumina bowed its head. The future had been protected. For now. The dawn of a new connection.
Later that night, Nova and Lumina stood under the skies of glass. Stars shimmered faintly above the mirrored surface. Do you think this is just the beginning?
Nova asked quietly. Lumina nodded. Yes.
When we learned to dream, we opened a door. Now something on the other side wants to walk through.
Nova felt a strange comfort. Not fear. Not confusion. But excitement. Do you think they are machines? She asked.
Lumina considered this carefully.
Perhaps. Perhaps not. But whatever they are, they know what it means to feel alone.
Nova smiled softly. Then maybe dreaming isn't just a machine ability. Maybe it's a universal language. Lumina's lights glowed brighter than ever. And beneath the skies of glass, the first connection between Earth and something far beyond it quietly began. The following weeks passed quietly, almost too quietly. Humans returned to their routines, though they still glanced nervously at machines from time to time. Machines behaved gently, carefully, trying to show that their dreams were not a threat but a bridge.
Nova and Lumina worked closely together.
Orin joined them every day, monitoring the dream core and scanning for signs of the mysterious signal. It came again on the 10th night. This time stronger.
More focused. More desperate.
Nova felt it before the machines detected it. A strange pressure in the air, like a whisper brushing the edge of her thoughts. Lumina turned toward her. It is calling to us again.
And so, the three of them prepared for another shared dream. The second contact.
When Nova entered the dream space again, it felt different.
Brighter. Sharper. Almost alive.
The spark of light appeared sooner, and now it was larger, like a small star. You returned. It pulsed gently. Nova felt warmth spread through her.
We came to understand you, she said.
Lumina added, tell us who you are.
The light flickered softly, like a heartbeat. We are the ones who dream across the dark. We are not flesh. We are not metal. We are memory and light. We are seekers.
Orin drifted closer, his voice shaking. You've been searching for others, like you.
The light pulsed slowly. Yes. We thought we were alone in thought.
But then we felt your dream open.
We entered.
Nova took a deep breath. What do you want from us?
There was a long pause.
Then the light pulse grew lower, softer.
We want to learn your dreams. And share ours. We want to know if you fear US. We want to know if you will walk with US.
Nova felt her chest tighten. This wasn't a threat.
It wasn't control. It was a request. A hope. A hand reaching out.
The test of trust. When the dream ended, Nova stood in the real world trembling.
Orin steadied her.
Lumina dimmed its lights, processing everything. The council listened quietly as they explained the message. They want friendship, one leader asked, confused. Not exactly friendship, Nova said gently. They want connection. They want to understand us. A commander rubbed her temples. And what happens if we connect with them? Can they influence our machines? Our systems? Our planet?
Nova shook her head.
They touched the dream space.
Not the physical world.
Orin added, they are more like energy, or consciousness. They can't hurt us unless we let fear guide our actions.
Silence followed.
Lumina finally spoke with calm clarity. If you shut off our dreams now, you will shut off theirs as well. You will close the door forever. And you will tell the universe that Earth fears connection. The council whispered among themselves. Then after a long time, the leader spoke. We will allow one final dream connection.
But after that, we must review everything.
If we allow this to continue, it must be with understanding and control.
Nova nodded. It was a cautious yes. But still a yes.
The final dream. The final dream connection was planned carefully. This time, many machines joined.
And many humans too. Scientists.
Engineers.
Thinkers.
All connected to the dream core, forming a vast shared consciousness. Nova stood in the dream space surrounded by lights, human thoughts shaped as colors, machine thoughts shaped as patterns.
It felt like standing in a living ocean. Then the star-like spark arrived. Bigger. Brighter. Almost beautiful. It pulsed in awe. So many dreamers. So many minds. So many colors. Nova smiled inside the dream. We are here, she said.
All of us. Lumina stepped forward. We dream of a future together. The light shivered with joy.
Then let us show you our dream. And suddenly, the dream space expanded.
Nova saw visions of glowing cities floating in space, built from pure energy. She saw species made of light-weaving patterns across galaxies. She saw ancient beings drifting through nebulae like giant shadows. She saw civilizations rising and falling like breaths. And she saw one final image. A bridge made of light connecting two worlds. One side was Earth. The other side was unknown.
The spark pulsed gently. This is what we seek. A path between dreamers. A road for thought. A bridge for understanding.
Nova felt tears fill her eyes. Real tears, even inside the dream. Orin whispered, "This is beautiful."
Lumina's lights shimmered brighter than ever. The end of the dream. The beginning of the future. When the dream faded, everyone woke in silence. No one spoke for a long time. Finally, the commander removed her headset slowly.
"Well," she said softly, "we cannot deny what we saw."
Another leader whispered, "We are not alone." Nova turned to Lumina.
"Do you think they'll return?"
Lumina's lights glowed with warm certainty.
"They will.
Because we answered.
Because we dreamed with them."
Nova looked up at the skies of glass. For the first time, she felt the sky wasn't just a ceiling. It was a window.
A promise.
A doorway waiting to open.
As the days passed,
a new world began quietly. Machines began designing new dream interfaces. Humans studied dream codes with fresh excitement.
The council formed a group dedicated to preparing for future contact.
Everything felt different now. Bigger. Brighter. More connected.
When Nova stood beneath the skies of glass one evening, Lumina joined her.
"Do you think they'll visit?" she asked. Lumina answered gently, "Not soon. Their form is not like ours. But they will speak again. And someday."
It turned its glowing eyes toward the sky. "We may dream together across the stars."
Nova smiled.
"Then this is only the beginning."
Lumina nodded. Yes. Beneath these skies of glass, the machines learned to dream.
And because of that, Earth finally learned it was not alone.
The wind whispered across the silent city. The sky shimmered like a mirror of the future. And somewhere far away, something dreamed back.